Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Ron Simplified Myers, your uplifting life partner. I decided to shoot another video. I just shot the one about me time because I was taking some me time, taking a break. But anyway, I figured I'd shoot a video on a conversation that I just had with a gentleman about can you love again? Um, for me, it comes down to, of course, your definition of love. For me, as you guys know, love is not an emotion. Love is a choice. And by that, I'm saying you choose to accept people just the way they are. No conditions, no nothing, no strings attached. I accept you just as you are. To me, that's true love. Everything else is, we water it down and come up with other definitions of what different loves are. But to me, there's only one. When you learn to accept people the way that package comes, that's love. Um, Again, everything else is whatever, however you want to define it. But some people instantly, when I say that, they go, well, you're telling me I love my wife the same way I love my friends. And I said, there you're talking about intimacy. Intimacy means you're opening yourself up and allowing yourself to be vulnerable to someone else. That's why it's intimacy. And that's where your spouse or significant other would fall into that category. Um, so when he was asking the question about can you love again, I said, well, again, to me, you choose to love people, and I tell people you can't make me love you more or less because it's a choice, and I choose to love you. Now, as far as intimacy, I said, yes, you can do it again, but first you have to rewrite, and you guys know how I talk about stories that you write. I was at an event, and a gentleman was talking about the fact that he married a young lady that he had went to high school with. They had been high school sweethearts. They were married for 25 years. And he basically said he lost his friend. And so that was kind of what led to the divorce. And so all he asked is make sure that I have access to my son. That's what's most important to me. Well, what he didn't know, he signed the divorce papers and she cleaned him out. She took everything. And so he got burned, and it was amazing to him because here it is, a woman that he had spent all these years with. He never thought she would burn him, and he did. Now this gentleman had shared with us that he has trust issues. The reason I shared that story because it was perfect with the guy's question on can you love again, because this gentleman can love again, or which again for me, my definition of love, but can he create intimacy again? I said, yes, he can, but first he has to shut the door on this particular relationship, and he can't continue to write the stories and tie in all women into what happened in this particular incident. In other words, I can't trust women anymore because if I give my heart to them, they're going to destroy me. If that's a story that he's playing, and I'm not saying he is, but if that's the story that he's playing, if he doesn't change that story, for him, no, he can never get intimacy and back into another relationship. But if he could get past that and start to rewrite the stories and understand those are choices that she made as an individual, not as a woman, as an individual. And again, you guys know that's what I'm. Some of the things I'll be sharing and trying to bring different views to is I don't believe there's differences in men and women, except for physically, and that's what distinguishes the two. But anyway, anytime you open up your heart to anyone and you feel like you got crushed, you're going to guard your heart. You're going to place that wall. And it's going to be hard for people to penetrate it unless you start to write different stories, and you have to. And the reason I share that is because it's kind of like Tony Robbins made the comparison. He was saying, have you ever gone up a hill where there's only one road coming down, one road going up, and it's a windy hill, and there's a cliff off to the side? He said, if you've ever gone up something like that, how do you know the person on the other side of the road is committed to their side of the road? What if today they decided, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm just going to take me and anybody that's in the way out, and your car is the one coming up? How do you go up that kind of road knowing that possibility exists? You have to trust. And that's really what it comes down to, is you have to trust that people aren't out here to hurt you. That young lady may have done that, and you have to distinguish her again from other people. I'm not saying just go out here and just share with everyone, which there's nothing wrong with that. To me, it's again, as I always say, get rid of your problems, not your partner. Because folks, when you get your stuff together, you pick up on people very, very quickly, because people keep telling me about how long you got to be in relationships, you got to move in together and all. No, you don't. No, you don't. You have to get rid of your stuff. Know the direction in which you're heading. And when you know that, you pick up on people very, very quickly, and you know if they're headed in the same direction as you. It's like the analogy of saying, I'm headed to San Francisco. The question is, are you headed in the same direction? All I gotta do is ask you. If you tell me you're going to San Diego, you're going to Vegas, I know you're not going to San Francisco, so let's move on. I'm not going to try to sway you into coming with me, nor should you try to sway me to come with you. And to me, that's what I'm saying about relationships. Folks, when you know where you're headed, it's very, very easy to pick up on if a person's going in the same direction as you. And then you don't waste all that time. But where you get stuck is you start looking at the exterior. You start looking at how sexy she is, or the body she has, or how fine he is, or what kind of car they're driving, or what kind of home they live in. When you get caught up in that kind of stuff, you're missing the substance, which is the actual individual. When you can let all that other exterior stuff go and have a conversation with that person, you can pick up very, very quickly, are they headed in the same direction as you? So with that said, to answer his question, he has to rewrite the stories that he's written about relationships, as far as her, quote unquote, breaking his heart, which is what he said, and his trust issues are gone. He has to rewrite that story in a way that he's able to move forward. Because if he doesn't rewrite that story, he'll keep that fence up, and no, for him, intimacy will never occur again. But for those that can change the stories and believe the story that you write, you can have intimacy all over again. And as you know, it ain't right, it ain't wrong. It is my opinion. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.